There we go. Hello.
Hey man,
Hey. How's it going, man?
pretty good. You got a lot of reverb.
Oh crap. Hold on. Okay. I just realized something here. Do, 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 do. Input it has to be USB. There we go. Sounds better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just realized I plugged in my webcam, and it chose that as my default microphone, which is frustrating sometimes. I have like multiple input.
We're leveling alts, and Sean Dracup is running me and one of our new guildies through Shadow Fang Keep right now.
Oh, nice, nice. What? Oh, level 9? Is it 26 mage? Nice. Mage. I need a mage.
Yeah, yeah. You everybody needs a mage. Like in Classic, it's part of it. Like if you look up a farming guide for Classic, the first thing you see is roll a mage. So we're prepping for AQ40 and hopefully getting ready to go into Nax when it drops. And to maintain the type of farming capacity it takes to progress in those raids, you need a mage.
I see, like, more how many mages you're talking about? Like, maybe 10, 15, half of the raid? Or.
They're not used for the raid; they're used for farming.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah, because you can AOE grind so easily, and everybody on the server needs an herbalist and a miner, and that's what this tune is. Is she's going to be used to farm. She's herbalism and mining, and that'll be all she does is grind gold, rep for particular rep items, and materials.
Sure, sure. Yeah, I thought about that too, and I, I'm working on another alt character right now, Hunter, which I've had a Hunter back in vanilla. That's my first character ever, and I kind of miss it.
Yeah, I've always played rogues, and like in every iteration of WoW that I've played on private servers or retail servers, I've always played a rogue first, and I'm enjoying leveling the mage. It's a completely different experience. It's almost as though I'm playing the game again for the first time.
Right. Yeah, maybe I should look into some of the characters that I haven't really played back in vanilla and kind of revisit what they can put what they can potentially do as far as having to experience that first time of playing a character that you don't know. I mean, if I can compare that to like retail, I played a lot of class in retail, but I don't think it's the same thing. If you.
Yeah, this is it's cool. You know, it's an alt. It is what it is. But um, you know, in retail, I played like I said, a rogue, and then I can't even remember which expansion it was. It was the one that had the level 100 cap. It was the first time they introduced instant characters, and I brought a druid up to 90 using the free 90 level thing, and then I played it up and raided with it, and I still liked rogue. So
It's cool, man. I'm lucky that I got to talk to you today because it probably would have waited another week.
yeah, this is I expected to do this a while back, and it just never happened. Like I never saw you on. So
Yeah, cause ever since the BWL started, I've been kind of messing with my schedule. Usually the part that one of the raid days that we added into our schedule now are the interview days that I've kind of worked on because it was perfect. We raid the Friday and then I interview on the Sunday, or either way, like Sunday or Monday. Usually I get on twice to show up and kind of see what's going on. But with the BWL out, we've been kind of making progress on rating.
how far are you guys through BWL?
Well, my group was up to the third boss. We got through the suppression room, but we couldn't kill him. We wiped like 3 times and we called it. The last time we raided, it was like a couple of weeks ago, And
Which guild are you raiding with?
well, it was Scarab, but now, if you heard the news about
Yeah.
Scarab,
How could you not?
yeah, it's insane. But I was in group 2. Uh, Group F is what we called it. It was just like a secondary raiding core, not even like a raiding core. It's just um, see?
Just an alt run or bench warmers, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, and so yeah, it I liked it because we were just kind of like the underdog of the raid, and we had the actual first raid group that are like mainly core, and they're pretty awesome. Like they had BWL on the farm, so cleared it like multiple times ever since it came out, and like I still couldn't believe that this happened. And
Looking at it from an outside perspective, a lot of people were just waiting for it to happen because it was the way the guild was set up. It's destined to fail. And what sucks about it is that most people, like nobody could do anything about it because of the way the guild was founded. And that really sucks for the people that put in so much effort and time into gearing Momo and then to lose that much work.
right,
It just sucks. And I like Momo, but like the thing is, he was put in a bad position because he was given too much power, to like absolute authority,
mm-hmm.
and eventually it always goes bad when that happens.
Sure thing.
Because I mean, when he was grinding PvP, like he was working, like he was doing it, and a lot of people on the server are talking, saying, yeah, he was just taking all the loot and he was all of that, and like because I raid lead, I look at it from a raid leader perspective, and then I realized that Momo was a raid leader. He was the guild master. He managed the guild bank. Momo did the job of 4 people, and for the most part, he's probably due most of the gear he got. From my perspective. But one of the things that we do at Dynasty that we strive for is we have a fierce separation of authority when it comes to stuff like that. The raid leader should never be the GM. The GM should never be the guild bank. So we have all of that responsibility and authority spread out amongst multiple people, so that if something were to go awry, the guild wouldn't fall apart.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Now we're kind of doing the same thing with our new guild right now.
And one of the things too is that the GM should be the person who's best with people. Like he's the one that needs to be really good at resolving conflicts and keeping people happy. The raid leader is the guild authoritative figure. It's okay for people to get mad at the raid leader because the GM can kind of sort it out. As long as your raid leader doesn't turn into a tyrant, then it's fine. And then if someone pisses off the raid leader or the GM and they're not the guild bank, if they leave, then you haven't lost anything but a GM or a raid leader, and you should be able to replace either of those without a significant snafu. If the guild bank leaves, if you piss that guy off, then you've got problems. But you have to put that with somebody that you thoroughly trust. And Dynasty has done a really good job of appointing people to those tasks that I really think we're going to be here for the long haul.
Sure, and I'm surprised nobody even requested some type of a different type of system where a few people has to be a guild leader instead of making one, so that way it's more like a council than.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about is Momo pulled that guild together when Oat left, and he managed to get those guys to get the server first Horde Ragnarok's kill. They got the first Sulfuras, the first Thunder Fury. They did everything, and I don't think that they would have been as successful without Momo running the show. But like I said, when a person's left absolute power like that, megalomania is inevitable. And I like Momo. Like he's helped our guild a lot, and I've never had anything negative to say about the guy. And to be honest, I still don't. I wasn't there for everything that went down, and I know that people can turn into jerks when they're given a position like that. But I raid lead, and raid leading is very labor intensive. I could not imagine trying to raid lead GM and manage the guild bank. Like that would be the most stressful thing ever.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to Momo on the podcast, and he was pretty cool. And I mean, you said that you didn't know anything what's going on. So it was the same thing for most of the people that are in the guild.
It was a bunch of small things that built up to a big thing, and none of them ever got resolved.
Exactly.
And ultimately, that's what happened. I feel like I legitimately feel bad for every single person involved, because all the people that help Momo get what he has invested a lot of time and effort. My baby's crying.
It's all right, man. I understand.
If she gets loud, let me know.
It's all right. It's all good.
But at the same time, Momo lost his guild. I mean, he lost his support that he had, and all the friends that he's made along the way, and he's kind of burnt that bridge. And it sucks, because I mean, I would like to see what Momo's /played is. I bet it's probably 70, 75 days, which is just an astronomical amount of time.
You're in Dynasty, right? So Doomscream then?
Yeah,
cool.
He's one of my rogues.
Who else is in there that I interviewed? I think he's the only one.
So far he's the only one. Yeah.
Okay. I don't even know, because I think you're my 10th guest. And
if I'm the 10th, then you've got a couple of people that I haven't listened to yet. Last I checked, you only had 6. Who were your last 3?
Oh gosh, let me see. It's on my schedule. It's a bit of a mess. I'm trying to organize it. Okay, so Gala guest. I usually put the guest in here. So the 6th was Momo. The 7th is Kisa. He's the Russian guy that advertises our the light server Alliance on YouTube. I don't know if you've seen any of that.
I haven't, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, and TC, the pug, he's Alliance. He had the first Thunder Fury for our server. And the 3rd one is from Landlubbers, which I enjoyed talking to Thrax. He's
Thrax.
Yeah. He's a shaman. He's an RPer and a raider, and I joined him right now. I'm on top of this hut thing in Ratchet. We're kind of semi RPing while I'm talking to you. So check things out. What's going on in their thing?
I've never played on an RP server, and I enjoy it. Like, it's the community that's associated with this is really cool.
Yeah. Have you RP'd before? Or?
Not before this, no. Like, I do it when the situation presents itself, but I don't log in saying, I'm gonna RP for an hour.
Right.
My personality type, I'm much more task oriented, and I log in with a certain list of things I want to try to get done. And if RPing doesn't interfere with that, then good to go.
Yeah, I mean, I like the idea of RPing a lot. I'd never thought about this back in vanilla, but like
I've got 2 RPers. I've got 2 RPers that I really like, and that's Frankito and Sharp Tusk.
Yeah, Frankito. We saw him yesterday after we ran MC. He was waiting on the Thunder Bluff portal area.
We just zoned out of Shadowfang Keep, and there's allies sitting outside, and Sean just went ham and mowed all of them down.
Good, sorry.
He has the Untamed Blade, and when that thing procs, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Thrax just linked me a Sulfuras, Eye of Sulfuras, so he's gonna be getting that. I want that hammer on my shaman too.
Did it drop?
Yeah, it dropped for them.
When?
Let's see. I think it was today or yesterday.
Oh, that's awesome. I just saw someone a few minutes ago present a shaman with a hammer.
Nice. I mean, they probably have like warriors with them, but I don't know for sure if that's a mace. It's like a BIS for any warriors. More like it's more
No,
like
it's a shaman weapon
shaman
first. Like
weapon, right?
shaman's pro over it.
It doesn't matter if they're not enhancement or anything like that. I mean, it
Well,
goes to them.
you roll enhance. Like every guild should have a dedicated shaman to roll enhancement if they get the materials for a hand or rag.
I see.
Like we already do. Like Shammy's going to be ours.
So I
So
guess
he's
go ahead. Sorry.
not such what I saying. He's resto right now, and he was rating enhancement, and then we wanted to shuffle groups a little bit. So he went resto. He already had a full resto set anyway because he had off spec rolled like dang near a full tier 1 set of healing gear that he wasn't using.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, hey, why don't you just run resto for a little while until we get Blackwing Lair on farm, and then if you want to go back to enhance, you can, or if we get the Ida drop, then you can go ahead and go back to enhance. Then he's like, cool, yeah, and he's been tearing it up. So
Yeah, that'd be kind of awesome, man. If I get a. Do you think that's like a general consensus where everybody knows that stuff? So like,
I don't really know. Like I raid lead, so it's that's part of the territory is researching group comp and loot priority and things like that. It's all stuff I hadn't had to do before I came to Classic. But through researching and stuff like that, you learn where things go and why. And for the most part, warriors, if they're DPSing, they generally want to be two-handed because that's where the best damage is at. And there is no proficiency for maces, so
sure, yeah.
and that's why you generally want to give it to a shaman because they use maces and they've got Wind Fury wherever they're at. So
Right, because I imagine warriors are probably more effective with sword spec than any other weapon as far as DPS output, right?
Orcs have weapon skill as a passive, or they have
right?
axes.
Yep.
Axes passive. So generally, warriors who are fury are going to go either one hand or two hand axes. Tauren will go edge masters and swords most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, that's kind of cool, man. That's pretty cool how one class in Horde has that priority of if guild knew about this, or all the people that have done the research, like what you explained about the shaman's priority, if that dropped, I mean, depending on the guild, really, whoever they want that Isilfars to go to, especially if there's like a new players like in guild, I mean, it's kind of hard to decide then if that's the case.
With Dynasty, we have officers meetings every Thursday night. Usually lasts an hour or two, and then we have a spreadsheet, and we're constantly making small revisions to it as to where loot priority goes. Like it gets adjusted according on what previous raid week drops were, so that we kind of know where stuff's going. And for that to be said, like drops are not predestined. Like we don't know where every single item's going, but you have big drama items like the Drake Fang Talisman that drops. Maladath is another pretty big one. There's several caster items. Naltharian's Tear, the staff that drops off of Nefarian or Nefarian. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
His staff, like these are all pretty big drama items, and to prevent drama associated with it, we have a spreadsheet that's readily available to every person in the guild that's posted in our Discord, and they can review that at any time and see what we're doing. And there's usually an explanation posted along with it to let them know why we're putting loot in a certain spot. And for the most part, we haven't really had much drama at all as far as gear goes.
Cool, man. Are you guys using a RC loot or
Yeah, it's RC loot.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I like RC loot. We've never used it back in vanilla, but the way it worked, but understanding it is just simple as need greed and all this stuff. It's just talk about the priorities. Like,
Well, with RC Loot Council, the master profile holder, whoever's profile you're following, you can actually go in and set up custom buttons for it instead of just need greed. What we have is we have main spec, we have off spec, we have PvP, and I think that's it. I think that's all the buttons we have on there.
oh,
So
cool.
if you roll on something, you can specify what you're going to use it for.
Oh,
And
cool.
if it's an item that comes up to purely a greed roll, RC Loot Council also has the option in there to post a greed roll on the right side of every person's name. And immediately when RC Loot Council opens, every person is assigned a random greed roll. So if something's a greed roll, you already know who it is when it pops up.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I didn't know that you could customize actual button. Like, I had an idea, but I didn't know you could go through that in details. Or you want to change things up right into the
Yeah,
granule.
yeah, and it's neat. Like, as silly as it sounds, you can actually assign different colors to the buttons and all that stuff too. So, which I don't. It's just purely for aesthetics, but it's kind of nice.
So, okay, did you guys kill Nefarian yet? Like, are you
Yeah,
done
yeah,
with
like Blackwing layers on farm
Nefarian?
for us.
Okay, awesome, man. How long did that take you to familiarize everything that with the fight, and how were your groups set up, and how did you guys prepare for that?
We killed Nefarian the second week.
The second week, nice.
Yeah, we would have killed him the first week, but we because of the way that the days fell, our raiders are kind of set on the days that they want to raid, and we just didn't have enough days to get it cleared the first week. But the second week, we knocked them out, no problem.
I see.
We actually killed Nefarian. My kids are playing the game.
That's all right.
We killed Nefarian on 2 attempts, I believe.
Hmm. That's pretty cool, man. The fights in there is long, and man, I can't wait until I get into that fight, because I think that's the most. It looks fun to do. Was it like 8 minutes, 10 minutes fight?
Yeah. I'd have to look at our last kill, but our last kill was actually pretty quick. The biggest thing with Nefarian is, like, in phase 1, you've got to make sure that you get all the ads killed in the same spot so they're not scattered when phase 3 happens.
Right.
During phase 2, you've got to make sure that you know how to handle each call out appropriately. Like, are you familiar with the way that fight works?
Because the skeletons, they're like, you need to have the fire people and the frost people and the divided sides, right? The first few mobs that comes in, those are divided.
Yeah, the first you get dragonkin that spawn at each doorway, and they can be one of 5 different schools of resistance.
Okay.
Frost,
Okay.
Frost, fire, arcane, shadow, and nature.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of split your casters when you first do the pull. So that, let's say that the right side is shadow resistant, and you don't want to put your warlocks on the right side starting out, because then you're going to have a pretty big pile up before they can get changed.
Mm-hmm.
So usually what we do is we split warlocks and mages half left, half right, and then as the resistances come out, we'll shuffle to get it lined up.
Yeah.
So what happens when you go into phase 3, when the Nefarian hits 20%, all those skeletons will resurrect, and they come toward the raid.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing is making sure that you don't have them scattered all over the place, so that you don't have a swarm coming at you. You kind of want to keep them clumped up so you've got a pod.
Yeah, you can. So the warriors can do their shots, and are they tunnable then?
There's 40 of them, so if a warrior pops a taunt in the middle of that, he's going to die.
Okay.
So generally what you want to do, you don't want to put anybody in with them right away. Right when we get Nefarian down to about 25%, what we'll do is we'll essentially stop DPS, and we'll wait until we get a good call out. A good call out is going to be warlock call out, a rogue call out, a druid call out, are good ones to go ahead and advance on, because they're not difficult to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that call out, and as soon as you get the good call out, you just go ahead and burn the boss on down and pop those. But at 23%, every person in the raid will collapse on the casters. Where we put those, they're at 90 degrees to Nefarian. Nefarian is tanked with the tanks back against the rail, so Nefarian's facing off of the cliff. And then you'll tank, if you look straight down on Nefarian at 3 o'clock, which is 90 degrees to his right, that's where everyone will condense down. When phase 3 happens, all of those skeletal adds will actually run toward the raid, and it makes it really easy to bunch them up because every single person except for the tank is in the same spot.
Right, makes sense, yeah.
So when they get there, you'll pop sappers, holy waters, mages will do frost novas on rotation, blizzards up, and then once every person blows their AoE, because every single player in the raid has holy water on them, so that they've got an AoE spell, the ads die in 15 seconds, so it's not much to deal with.
The raid fights in here has to be a specific type of class and DPS healer, tank perspective. It's not just one. You can't just, well, you can, but understanding it more is better if you watch that type of class that you have to kind of familiarize if you're a caster, you know, how far you have to stand back and so forth. And what fun thing about Nefarian that I watch is the class curses, which, like, you know, if it targets shamans, they would randomly cast totems that are
that's the call outs that I was talking about. The druid call out, or the class curse, it turns all the druids into kitties. It's funny that Blizzard thinks the worst thing that can happen to a druid is they be turned into a cat.
Mm-hmm.
You know, shamans, they drop 3 different totems. They drop corrupted wind fury, corrupted magma totem, and corrupted healing stream.
Mm-hmm.
And lately, we've actually done a really good job at getting enough shamans to come in, so that one can actually be pretty hectic when you have 6 shamans dropping 3 totems every 10 seconds.
Sure, yeah, and those totems are attackable, so you just kill them off right the bat, right?
Yeah, they've got about 1,000 hit points,
okay.
So it's not necessarily a one shot for everybody.
Right, yeah, and the rogues that would get teleported into one spot, like in front of him, right? So you have to the tank has to turn around and get ready, prepare for that as well.
Yeah, and that's the only time I've died on Nefarian is when I got teleported in front of him and immediately got cleaved down.
Mm-hmm.
Really bad timing.
What does a warrior get?
Warriors are put into berserker stance. It doesn't affect anyone but the tank. And when a tank goes from defensive stance to berserker stance, things get hairy quick.
Sure, yeah.
He loses threat generation and he takes a crap ton more damage.
Damn.
We're fortunate. We've had pretty good luck with tank drops. Our main tank, Hut, tanks that is knowledgeable, and everyone is always appropriately potted. They have enough consumables on them to go through that. And man, when we get a warrior call out and he's on Nefarian, you watch him. He's at nearly 8,000 hit points, which is just insane.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Well, I'm happy for you guys that you guys have that on farm already, and that's another raid that I've been kind of looking forward to do and to finish, but at the same time, it's kind of intimidating as well, which you have to have consumables, and you gotta farm for that, and you gotta be prepared for that. For my time on that, it's really limited on my part because I'm sure you understand having a family and having kids and stuff. It's kind of it gets hectic, but I managed to farm 2 flask for my part as a healer, the distilled wisdom, and since right now the economy is really, really bad, which lotuses are going for 100 gold or 90, 80 gold. I gotta find a dedicated person to kind of sell things to me personally, so I don't have to go out there to make the gold that I need to buy them on the auction house. So some of the stuff I've been doing lately is experimenting with the economy on other servers just to build a standard of comparison to see how our economy stacks up versus others. Sure.
So I'll tell you what I did, and it's kind of neat. I made a rogue on about 8 or 10 different servers.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and what I did is I would do quests up to level 2. and then I would run to Undercity and sell all my gear.
Mm-hmm.
And that left me with about a silver, somewhere between 80 copper and a silver.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would start scanning the auction house to see if I could flip it to make money.
Mm-hmm.
And on Whitemane, which is a full server, it's completely populated.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing that for 5 days on that server.
Mm-hmm.
A level 3 rogue that started with 84 copper. And in 5 days, I'm up to like 4.5 gold.
Oh, wow.
Which is insane for a level 3 that doesn't do anything but play the auction house.
Yeah.
Their auction house has 12,000 auctions, where ours has 4,000.
And what's the population on the server? Is
it's full.
Full? Okay.
Yeah, it's not a high population. It's full.
Okay.
Like it's all you can get. So, a few times when I went to log in, there's a queue time. Like if I go to log in during peak, there's usually about a 15-minute wait. So.
That's cool, man.
But to go on with what you were saying, Black Lotus on that server is 160 gold.
Holy crap!
Yeah, a stack of copper bars, 20 copper bars, runs about 80 silver on our server. It's 3 gold on their server.
Wow.
On that server, I got to talking to some people, and there are over 1,000 players on Whitemane with 15,000 or more gold.
Damn, that's insane.
Yeah, and considering that our active player base is about 3,000 people, that would mean that 1/3 of the people on our server were millionaires compared to that server.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Think about that. I thought it would be more like, they would sell more cheaper stuff since there's a lot of them. But
the volume is higher, but demand is much higher. So
sure, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially with this kind of in Classic, everything is just compiled into one area where the amount of time you have to farm an herb and mine and stuff, have to wait a specific while. And can you imagine 100 people doing that every day? You will never get anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's one of the reasons that they're so much more expensive there, is because, the supply on Black Lotus is finite. It's just because you have more people farming it doesn't mean there's more of it.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's
I didn't realize that until you explained it. Now it's it makes a lot of sense that this isn't retail, man. It's Classic.
Yeah, it's supposed to be hard.
It is,
and it's grindy. And I was a little let down with Blackwing Lair. To be honest, I expected it to be more difficult. And
okay.
it was tremendously rewarding when we killed Nefarian. It was really nice.
Sure.
I expected Velstraws to be a more difficult fight. We killed Velstraws in 2 attempts the first time we saw it.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, because that was the thing that scared me. As a raid leader, is am I going to be able to lead my boys through this encounter? Or are we going to be able to pull it off?
Sure.
And man, it was just a curb stomp. We just ran through it, and I was like, "This is really cool."
Yeah, when our first attempt going through BWL, we knew that we weren't gonna on my second group, on our F group F, whatever you call it. When we went in there and we got into Vale, I just had this epiphany where I was like, "Oh shit, we're on this boss." And the song.
Vale.
Yeah, Vale, yep. And this song keep popping in my head. I'm just like, oh, this fucking brings me back memories, and I thought about that song. Unfortunately, it's the Maroon 5. Now I know a lot of people that don't like him, since I used to be in a metal band, and all my the members in my band is just don't like Maroon 5. So I'm like, oh, well, it kind of made sense for me. So I just kind of, well, I'm not gonna full on cover the song. I'm not gonna make it sound the same. So I just pulled up my guitar, looked at the tabs, and started recording it.
It sounded good, man. I listened to it. I actually listened to it a couple of times. I've got to hook my my interface back up so I can record. I haven't played well since my baby was born. She was born March 14th of last year.
Oh,
Just turned 1, and
congratulations.
oh, thank you. But I haven't played a whole lot since then. It's just been busy and all of that. But I want to start doing it again, and the chance to jam over somebody else's tracks always fun.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I wish that. Well, have you jammed with anyone at all? Like on like online, like a stream. Like I don't know how well that works since like you have to sync in at the same time.
Yeah, I
That
don't
you.
know. We could try it, but I don't know how the latency is going to be. If we can get a connection, like I'm on fiber internet, so my latency is really, really low. Like I can run a
Sure.
ping test, and it's somewhere between 0 and 1.
Yeah.
But it depends on the servers and where you go through.
Sure.
So
Sure. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of websites out there that we can check out or different applications out there, but Twitch or like OBS or I don't know, but
yeah,
they
Twitch
can.
has a 15-second delay, so
Yeah. Yeah.
you can't do it through it. We would end up having to do it through somewhere like Skype, or maybe I'll do it through Discord. So
Yeah. That'd be cool, man.
I would be up for it. Like
Yeah.
it's a bit of a rig to get all my stuff set up because when I run through the interface that I have to use the headphones that go through the interface,
Mm-hmm.
and they're quarter-inch headphones, like studio-style headphones,
Okay.
and I don't know where mine are. Like we moved before the baby was born, and I packed all my stuff up, and I don't know if it's in a storage building or if it's in the garage. Like I don't know where the headphones are. Yeah, and I've got all the other stuff in there too. Um, like I've got a MIDI controller and stuff like that I could hook up and play with, but it's something I need to do. Like I want to. My poor guitar's been sitting. I've got my 7 string next to me, and I've got a mandolin around here somewhere that my kids are trying to learn how to play.
Nice. What
But my actual good guitar is in the case in the closet.
what's the brand on your guitar? The 7 strings.
The 7 string is a Jackson.
Jackson, nice. Way to go. I have a 7 strings Jackson as well. It's one of the cheap one that I could get because the more strings that you can buy, the more expensive they are because the way they make it, it's insane.
Yeah, I got lucky on this one. I like the very first guitar I had was a Charvel, which was later bought out by Jackson, and all of the Jackson guitars actually look like the original Charvels. Um, and the first guitar I got, my grandpa bought it for me from a guy that he knew. And when I got it, I was like, "Holy crap!" Because it was a $900 guitar that he paid $100 for, and this was in 1997. So,
Oh, holy
like,
crap!
it was today. If it were to go up for sale, it would be a $1,600 guitar.
God damn. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I was touring, and the roadies were unloading it, and they dropped it, and it came out of the case and busted the paint off
Holy
of it.
shit.
And I ended up taking it apart and repainting it, and I've never put it back together. Like it's all of the pieces are still disassembled in my shop.
Damn, dude. Sorry about
Uh,
that. Sorry to hear that.
yeah, it sucks. It had a gel coat on it, and it looked kind of like a boat, like a gold hyper huge metallic flake boat.
Have you played are you more like a metal guy or like a country guy or what? What's your style usually? What's your forte?
Blues rock.
Blues rock, nice.
I may have to get my baby out of her crib here in a minute.
Yeah, that's all right, man. Well, all right. I think we covered pretty much a lot of this stuff.
You'll have to have me to come back because I have so much more to talk about. We've burned up our entire hour of talking about music.
Shit, definitely, man. So yeah, let's continue again next time. And who knows how long will that be? Because I have
Yeah.
people still kind of scheduled in to talk to, and for sure, definitely, man. Well,
If you get time, grab up a notepad and sketch out some content that you want to go over, and that way we can keep a little continuity instead of just rambling on about recording and music. Because I don't figure the people that that come here want to listen to ramble about guitars.
See, this thing about what I wanted to like talk about, what I wanted to do is whatever. It's basically like, think of what you want to talk to. There's no plan on it. But the next time, for sure, maybe I'll just catch up like I'm over on my head or something and want to talk about that because I usually tend to. Somebody pointed this out in the other interview. It's like I tend to go into a loose direction when I started talking to people, especially like if we're just talking about WoW, and and I tend to kind of go into a different area, and then that's when it gets hectic. And
well, it's not a bad thing, because it makes it seem much less impersonal when you actually talk about personal experiences and life and things like that.
yeah.
But and I think it's really cool. I'm glad that we can talk about stuff that's not game related.
Yeah, and that's
But I have a lot of game related stuff I'd like to talk about when we have more time. So
hell yeah, and that's the thing about it. It's get to knowing the person behind the character too, and so that way when people want to listen to this before joining our community or Deviate Delight server, because I've had a lot of people from Reddit, says, "Oh, I want to go back to WoW Classic. What server should I go to?" I'm like, okay. We do have a newspaper and we do have a podcast if you want to tune in and listen to it before you join. You're welcome to do so, and if you like us, then come and join.
I wanted to talk about Raging Cajun, because he called our guild out in the podcast, and I wanted to talk about that, and we didn't even get to.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that next time. So
yeah, for sure, I'm going to hold you up on that. So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
Let's do it sooner rather than later.
Yeah. So. Yeah, he ended up. I mean, shit, dude. Like he's not playing anymore. I guess I don't know what happened.
In his podcast, he said he wasn't going anywhere, and in my brain, I was like, "You have no idea." I was like, "That's so true," and you don't even understand why.
Right. Yeah. I mean, maybe he'll come back later. I don't know if he's dealing with school or anything like that, or maybe personal things, which I could totally understand if that was happening, but. Yeah,
with this crazy virus that's going around right now, man, they've shut down the whole country, so there's no telling what people are going to be doing.
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, it's been a pleasure, man. So
man, I enjoyed it. It was really cool. Time flew by. I did not think we were already an hour in.
So you have a good night, man.
All right, you too, buddy. Have a good one. I enjoyed it.
Yep.